guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I am at my usual, I'm at Into Moto in Warrington. Now, I've been saying it for a while, Into Moto, they sell a lot of bikes, a lot of used bikes to fit loads of different budgets. And they've just had loads of pre-used scooters brought in. So what I'm gonna do is my next couple of videos, I'm just going to quick fire through this week and I'm going to try and get a new scooter video on, if not every day, every other day, so you can see what we're dealing with here, how much they're selling them for and what you can expect for the money. So there's a couple of them outside now, you can see at the side of me. So let's just cut straight to the first one. Quick change for myself, and now I've got my helmet head as well because I've been for a little ride. But this is the first one on offer today. So this bike is the AJS Modena. It's a 125 and it is a 2020 bike, so 3 years old. It's got 3,800 miles on the clock, so it's been used, but it's not been used a lot. And for a 125, that mileage is nothing. Now, I've had a look around the bike already and the paintwork is immaculate, and I'll show you around it very, very shortly. But this is just an example of what Into Moto has in there. And again, I'm not a salesman, I don't work for Into Moto. They kindly let me take these bikes out. I'm just in a very fortunate position. They're helping the channel, so I get to take these bikes out and share them with you. So let's have a look round and I'll show you exactly what this bike's about. I like it. Let me know what you think. Initial impressions on the looks, put a comment in. Right, so there is our close-up of the AJS Modena. Now, I really like the styling on these. I think they are very classic looking. They are like the Lambrettas and the Vespas of old. Very much like what the Royal Alloys are doing, I think. They're very, very good looking bikes, these. Proper old school. Everything about this bike is really just cool, I think. If somebody asked me would I go for like a pastel blue colour, I would say no, of course I wouldn't. But now I can see it in the flesh. It's such a lovely looking thing, this. Nice little rack at the back. It's an electric start, it starts on the key, but old school, it also does have a kickstart on there as well. I always like that. I like it as a backup. So if you are not using the bike for a while and you've not had it charging, it's a nice little backup to have the kickstart. Yeah, it's lovely, this. So seat, nice and comfortable. I've had a little ride already and it's a really nice place to park your backside. And it's just a typical scooter, isn't it? I mean, it's a long bench seat, but it's quite wide. So regardless of how tall you are, it will be perfect for you. You know, obviously if you're shorter, you'll be sat closer to that side. But if you are taller, you can just scoot back. So it will suit people of all sizes. And this area where your legs are going, loads of room. Again, I'm only 5'8", but I find that my knees only come up to about here, so you've got pretty much at least half the room left, which is ideal because you've got a little bag hook here, so perfect. If you don't want to wear a rucksack, you can park your bag down here. Ideal for a little bit of shopping. Let's have a look. Oh, little storage box there. I like that. Added bit of storage, like a tiny little boot. Don't get me wrong, you're not going to fit a lot in there, but you might fit, I don't know, some gloves or something in there. Might be quite handy for that. Let's lift the seat up. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so when you lift the seat up, obviously you've got access to your fuel tank, so you're filling up that way. There is a little bit of storage here. There's not enough to put your helmet, which is a shame because I know a lot of scooters, that's one of the selling points for me, is being able to leave your helmet with a bike, but you can't with this. You can see we've got like a little toolkit in there, but I'm certainly, my helmet wouldn't even fit through that gap. But it's, again, it's additional storage that you've got. It just won't fit your helmet in. But nice and easy to open up anyway. I will say that a lot of scooters that I've tried, when you've got to put the key in the ignition to get the seat up, they can be a bit fiddly, but that one, nice and easy, just key on the side and it unlocks. Control wise, it's just your classic scooter. We've got a horn, you've got your indicators, high low beam on the left hand side, right hand side you've just got your hazard lights and your start. Nice and easy. You'll have seen down there, there's no gears, it's a rev and go, which means your left lever is for your rear brake, your right lever for your front brake. Mirrors, just your classic Mickey Mouse ones. You'll see when we're riding, there's a little bit of vibration comes through these when you stop, but when you're moving, there's no vibration at all. It's just, it's a nice place to be, as you'll see when we do a test ride imminently. Oh, look at me in the mirror, looking scruffy as hell. Sorry about that. You've got miles per hour on the outside, you've got kilometres on the inside. You do have a fuel gauge, which is good. It's on the centre stand currently. It does have a side stand as well. It's nice and easy to actually put this bike on the centre stand, and I'll show you exactly what I mean, because a lot of people do worry about putting bikes on the centre stand, but you can see, you can even use this. You've got a nice little... So that's how easy it is to take off the centre stand. And then we've just got our centre stand down here. You put your foot on it and put your weight on it. Simple as that. On, done. Let me sit on it, I'll show you what I look like. So, as I've already said, I'm 5'8", bending the knee. This bike, as far as scooters go, it's a really low seat. A lot of scooters, I find myself being on my tiptoes, they're quite high, whereas this is quite low. But again, don't let it put you off if you're taller, because if you're taller, you just shuffle back in the seat, don't you? So you've got loads of foot room. Whoop, sort my balance. You've got loads of foot room. If you're taller, you've got room to manoeuvre. If you're smaller, if you are around the 5 foot mark, you could be sat at the front. But the big thing for me is the low seat height. This would be perfect if you are a smaller rider and looking to get a scooter. I would recommend this. Really would suit you. That's our walk around done. Let's go and see how it performs. I'll use this bike today as you would ordinarily use a scooter of this type. I'll do some town riding. I might go onto a faster road just to see what the performance is like. But ultimately, what I'm hoping from this today is for a 125 bike, it's got to be able to keep up with traffic. It's got to be able to not hold up traffic. Let's go for a ride and let's see what it's all about. What do you think of the walk round? I'm a big fan of like this type of scooter. I think they're just really nice looking things. It's a 3-year-old bike, and it is currently up for £1,699, I believe. So it's quite a big saving on the new versions, and not a lot of miles, to be fair. And looking around this bike, there doesn't seem to be any blemishes in the paintwork. A bit of a wipe down, it'll look like a brand spanking new bike again. And yeah, $16.99, decent value. In fact, it looks like there's a full tank of fuel in it as well. Oh, that's a bonus as well. So you'd buy this bike and get loads of fuel in it as well. Bonus. There's loads of room for your legs, and that means there's loads of room to put a little bit of a bag down there should you want to. And let's just open it up a little bit on this stretch. That's kind of what I would expect. So 125, it's quite nippy. I wouldn't say it's the fastest scooter I've ever been on. And yeah, a little bit of a hill, and with my heavy backside on, it pulls up there, no issues whatsoever. It is quite wet, but yeah, the brakes are really, really sharp. no issues with the brakes whatsoever. I'm quite heavy, so I'm sure the bulk of people who buy bikes like this won't be as heavy as me. So how it's performing for me now is how it performs with someone who's heavy. So if you're lighter, this thing will perform better, because that's one thing with the 50s and the 125s, they do get affected by the weight of the person that's on the... So if you are lighter, this bike will be an even better performer. I got myself a 125 because I was working about 11 miles away from home, no motorway involved. And I got myself a 125 because they are cheap to run, they're cheaper to insure, they don't use a lot of fuel, they are a cheap way to get to and from work. So I can understand why you would want a 125 bike. Like I say, I've done it myself, and these bikes are brilliant options, because if you want something to stand out and look a bit cool as well, I think you can't go far wrong getting something like this. There is a saving on getting a used bike to a new one. Now you do, obviously, you will get the odd little mark on this bike. It's 3 years old, it has been used, but as far as the blue paint goes and the white paint, that looks really good. There's a few little telltale marks, like on here and on the... But you know, you'd expect that because it's not a brand new bike. Yeah, I like it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this bike back to Moto now, so I'm not putting too many miles on for whoever buys it. But it is available there, and I will say, usually it takes me a week or two to get my videos on from recording them, so they do have quite a high turnover of bikes at Moto at the moment. So this bike, you might be lucky, it might still be in the showroom when you get there. If it's not, however, I will guarantee something. Every time I go in there, there are a fresh bunch of 125 bikes and scooters in there. So if this isn't there, there'll be something just like it and equally as good. Back at Moto now, and yeah, let's see what else they've got to play on. So join me next time and we'll see what else I've got. Bye for now.